The screech of tearing metal ripped through the air, a discordant symphony that shattered the lullaby of the clouds. My fingers, usually dancing across the strings of my lute, clutched at the armrest as the plane bucked like a wild bronco. I, Caius, a bard known throughout the kingdom of Eldoria for weaving prophecies into song, had never felt so utterly helpless. The rhythmic hum of the engines dissolved into a chaotic roar, followed by the sickening thud of impact. Darkness swallowed me whole. I awoke to a world reborn in fire and ash. The air hung thick with the stench of burning fuel and the acrid tang of blood. Groaning, I pushed myself to my feet, my lute miraculously intact, digging into my side. Around me, the wreckage of the Sky Wanderer was strewn across a landscape that was wrong. Eldoria, I knew, was a land of rolling hills and emerald forests. This was a wasteland. Jagged obsidian peaks pierced the bruised sky, and the ground was a tapestry of scorched earth and sickly green bioluminescent fungi. The air hummed with an unsettling energy, a palpable sense of otherness. Among them, I recognized Ilara, a fierce warrior from the Crimson Guard, her crimson armor now marred with soot and grime. And there was Master Theron, the royal archivist, his spectacles askew, clutching a water-stained tome. Keek. My bardic instincts took over. I needed to understand. I needed to sing. I strummed a melancholic chord on my lute, and a verse formed on my lips, a prophecy whispered on the wind. Wrecked in shadows, born anew, land of whispers strange and blue. 3 shall rise, with hearts ablaze, in this twisted, dying maze. As I finished, Ilara approached, her eyes narrowed. What was that, Bard? Some kind of warning? A glimpse, warrior, I replied, my voice hoarse. Of what is to come. We are not in Eldoria anymore. Theron, his face pale, joined us. The flora, the geological formations, they're unlike anything I've ever read about. We've been transported somehow to another plane of existence. And so began our struggle for survival in this alien world, which we soon came to call Aethelgard. We salvaged what we could from the wreckage, establishing a makeshift camp amidst the ruins. Theron, with his vast knowledge, sought to understand the strange environment. I, Caius, used my songs to maintain morale and, more importantly, to glean glimpses of the future. The first few weeks were a blur of scavenging, building shelters, and tending to the wounded, but the fragile peace was shattered when we encountered the natives of Aethelgard. They were not what we expected. The crystalline beings of pure energy encased in crystalline shells were the first to make contact. They were aloof and enigmatic, communicating through a series of melodic chimes. They warned us of another faction, the Rust Lords, a brutal and savage group who worshipped machines and thrived on chaos. Ilara, ever the pragmatist, believed we should ally with the crystalline despite their unsettling nature. Theron, however, cautioned against trusting either faction, arguing that we should remain neutral. My visions, however, showed a different path. I saw a war engulfing Aethelgard, a war that would consume us all unless we intervened. I sang a new song, a tale of unity and defiance. Crystals gleam and rust consumes. Neither path, true freedom blooms. Asterisk. My song sparked a debate. Some, swayed by Ilara's logic, wanted the protection of the crystalline. Others, fearing their alien nature, preferred to take their chances with neutrality. But a growing number, inspired by my vision, believed that we could forge our own destiny, that we could build a better future for ourselves in Aethelgard. Among these was Anya, a young woman who had lost her family in the crash. She possessed a fierce determination and a natural charisma that drew people to her. She became the voice of the third faction, the Rebuilders, who sought to create a new society based on cooperation, innovation, and respect for the land. We established a new settlement, which we called Haven, nestled in a valley shielded from the worst of the wasteland's dangers. We cultivated the bioluminescent fungi for food, learned to purify the contaminated water, and even discovered a way to harness the strange energy that permeated Aethelgard. But our growing strength did not go unnoticed. The Rust Lords, led by their tyrannical leader, Ironclad, saw us as a threat to their dominance. They launched a series of raids, testing our defenses and sowing discord among our ranks. The war was coming. I felt it in my bones, heard it in the whispers of the wind. My songs grew darker, more urgent. Steel and crystal, clash and break. Innocence, for power's sake. Haven burns, a crimson tide. Hope remains, deep inside asterisk. The Rust Lords launched their full-scale assault on Haven under the cloak of a crimson storm. Ironclad, a hulking figure encased in rusted armor, led the charge, his war machines tearing through our defenses. Alara and her soldiers fought with unwavering courage, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. Seeing Haven on the brink of destruction, I knew I had to act. One climbed to the highest point of the settlement, my lute clutched in my hand, and began to sing. But this was not a song of prophecy or warning. This was a song of power, a song of hope, a song that resonated with the very soul of Aethelgard. The energy of the land responded to my voice. The bioluminescent fungi glowed brighter, the wind howled with renewed force, and the very ground beneath our feet trembled. A wave of energy emanated from me, washing over Haven, strengthening our defenses and empowering our warriors. But the Rust Lords were relentless. Ironclad, enraged by our defiance, focused his attention on me. He charged through the chaos, his warhammer raised high, intent on silencing my song. I stood my ground, my eyes fixed on Ironclad's approaching figure. This was the moment. The moment when everything would be decided. But just as Ironclad reached me, a figure stepped in front of me, blocking his path. It was Anya. She held aloft a device, cobbled together from salvaged technology and the power of the land, a device that could amplify the energy of my song. Sing for Aethelgard. I closed my eyes and poured my heart and soul into my song. The energy surged through Anya's device, amplifying my voice 1,000-fold. A wave of pure energy slammed into Ironclad, shattering his armor and knocking him to the ground. The remaining Rust Lords, witnessing their leader's defeat, lost their will to fight. They scattered, fleeing into the wasteland. Haven was saved. But the battle had taken its toll. Many were wounded, and the settlement was in ruins. But amidst the destruction, there was hope. The Crystalline, finally abandoning their neutrality, approached us. They offered their assistance in rebuilding Haven, not as rulers, but as allies. They had seen our strength, our resilience, our ability to adapt and overcome. They recognized that we were not a threat, but a force for good in Aethelgard. In the months that followed, Haven was rebuilt, stronger and more resilient than before. We forged a new alliance with the Crystalline, sharing our knowledge and resources. We learned from each other, creating a society based on mutual respect and understanding. Theron, with the help of the Crystalline, unlocked the secrets of Aethelgard, expanding our knowledge of the universe. Anya, with her unwavering spirit, continued to inspire us, reminding us of the importance of hope and unity. And I, Caius, continued to sing. My songs no longer spoke of prophecies or warnings. They spoke of hope, of resilience, of the power of unity. They told the story of Haven, the story of Aethelgard, the story of a group of survivors who found a new home, forged a new destiny, and created a better world. Haven flourished, becoming a beacon of hope in the wasteland. We built bridges between factions, healed the land, and created a thriving community. Aethelgard was no longer a prison, but a sanctuary, a testament to the power of the human spirit. One day, as I sat beneath the crimson sky, strumming my lute, Anya approached me, a smile on her face. "Caius," she said, "sing us a song of our journey, of our triumph." I smiled, my fingers dancing across the strings of my lute, and I began to sing, "From shattered skies to ashen ground, a new beginning we have found."